In today's show, a tooth, a fingertip, and a star on the rise. What a freaking ball game. Welcome to Locked On Blazers. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On Trailblazers, your daily Portland Trailblazers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, world? It's your past first point guard and Trailblazers reporter Mike Richmond. You're listening to another episode of Locked On Blazers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, available wherever you get podcasts and also on YouTube. Thanks for making this show your first listen, coming at you each and every weekday, Monday through Friday. So make it a part of your daily routine. Make it your first listen. Tell your friends to do the same. Locked On Blazers, your team every day. In today's show, we're talking about a barn burner, a humdinger, one heck of a ball game. Blazers win 103-102. They hold off the Rockets in a game that came down to fingertips, in a game that saw one of the Blazers lose a part of their tooth, and a game that saw Deni Avdija's superstar ascension take another step forward. What a basketball game. We'll get into all of it today. We'll talk, we'll do our fastest recap in the West. We'll talk Deni, who was just phenomenal. He had as one of his best games he's ever played in a Blazers uniform. He was great. We'll talk to Toumani Camara, who lost his tooth in the third quarter and spoke to reporters after the game, still with a bloodied mouth that he said hurt to speak with. Plus, the game came down to a wild final 2.5 minutes where Tari Eason won the game until he didn't on a tip-in. Just a heck of a basketball game. The Blazers are winning. They keep on rolling. They've now won 6 of 7 and 4 in a row. Look at this. Look at this team. Look at them. We'll do our fast recap in the West. Let's start there. Blazers up 25-22 after one. Kevin Durant's got 10. Deni Avdija's got 10. Blazers are playing this game with 10 available players. Chris Murray is out with a low back injury. I watched him walk out of the locker room after the game. He looked like he was moving pretty slow. I would be, we'll see if he plays on Friday. He was moving pretty slow. One of those 10 dudes is Javonte Cook, who they don't want to play. It's pretty obvious they don't want to play him. Another one of those dudes is Young Hunson, who is a rookie still, finding his sea legs. They are really light on guys. This is a team really light on guys. The Rockets, of course, missing Alperen Sengun. Fred VanVleet's probably going to miss the whole year. Maybe he'll come back in the playoffs. Like they're missing some folks in and of their own right for sure. But it's just this is a shorthanded Blazers team. Playing a good Rockets team. Rockets top 3 offense, top 7 defense. The third in offense coming in the game, seventh in defense. Like, this is one of the good teams. This is a championship level team, right? And it's kind of ugly early. Rockets shot 8 of 23 and 0 of 5 from 8 of 23 from the floor, 0 of 5 from 3 in the first quarter. Blazers 8 of 24 from 3, but 8 of 24 from the field, 6 of 14 from 3. But that means the Blazers were 2 of 10 on 2-pointers in the first quarter. Gross. Neither team led by more than 4 points for the first 21 minutes of this game. Then Deni Avdija hits a couple free throws. Blazers close the half strong. They go into halftime up 10. Basically, it was a shot-making half. There's a reason why the Blazers were in the game. They had just 2 offensive rebounds in the entire first half, but in terms of shooting possessions, where I count field goal attempts and free throw attempts, Houston had 60. The Blazers had 47, so they're a big deficit in field goals. In shot attempts, but the Blazers were 9 of 23 from 3. They made threes in the first half. That's 39% shooting. That's good. Rockets, who did not make shots all night, 3 of 16 in the first half. 10-point game. Rockets make a charge, and the Blazers never let them get back in the game. They never conceded in this second half. They're up 10 and heading into halftime. They played a really, really nice first half. But obviously, Houston's going to make a push, but they never led after halftime. There was one tie in this game, and they never led after halftime. The Blazers answered every challenge. Deni had 32 points after 3 quarters. Blazers up 6. In the third quarter, though, with about 4 minutes left in the third quarter, Dorian Finney-Smith gets a rebound, and Toumani Camara is pressed up against him, and Finney-Smith turns quickly and kind of up fakes to get some space, and his head hits Toumani Camara in his teeth. Might call it his mouth. Probably should have. Hit him in the mouth. Toumani goes down. They actually called a offensive foul on Finney Smith. He couldn't believe it. He's like, the dude bit me in the head and used some bad words. He said, he hit me in the head. He hit me in the head. He didn't say bite, but I would watch him. He said, he hit me in the head, pointing to his head so many times. Like he was hurting too. Toumani's laying on the ground. He gets up and picks something up off the court and walks over and gives it to the Blazers trainer. She checks him out and, puts a towel in his mouth because he's bleeding a little bit because he got hit in the mouth. And he stays in the game. He immediately hits a runner on the next possession. He loses a shoe. He hits a jump shot. Toumani Camara had about as chaotic a 60-second spurt as you could possibly have. But the Rockets still don't take the lead. No matter what they do. They cut it to 2 on several occasions in the third quarter, but because Deni Avdija is absolutely hooping and because Toumani Camara is tough as nails, Blazers still up 6. Joining me with about 3 minutes left in the game, Tari Eason hits a 3-pointer. It's all of a sudden a 2-point game with just over 3 minutes to go. Rut row. Shaedon Sharpe comes down, hits a tough 14-footer, 15-footer, spinning mid-range jump shot, push the lead back to 4. Rockets miss. Deni Avdija goes the other way and 1. They play the John Cena theme. He hits the free throw. Blazers are up 7 with 2 minutes left. Here comes Kevin Durant. He hits a fading little midi. Caleb Love misses a 3. Then KD gets an and 1 from the left elbow. Toumani Camara's 5th foul. He did not like the call. Wanted the Blazers to challenge it. They didn't. I think on the replay, he probably did get him on the elbow. It's right not to challenge it there. KD adds the free throw. It's just like that in 51 seconds back to a 2-point game. But Deni drives, fouled, bucket. He roars. He lets out a huge scream because he powered through Kevin Durant to score to put the Blazers with his layup back up 4. He's screaming, roaring to the crowd. They start chanting MVP, the loudest MVP chants I've heard in the arena since the Damian Lillard era. A true most valuable serenade for Deni Avdija, who's having a superstar night and just plowed through the Rockets superstar to put the Blazers back up by 2 possessions. But of course, Deni misses the free throw. He joked after the game that's like, if you want me to miss, chant MVP. It's a classic jinx. But the Blazers get the rebound. Toumani Camara fishes out a rebound, kicks it back out, and Deni misses inside. And the Rockets, because off that miss, gets a push. They get a little bit of an advantage because there's a lot of people in the paint. They get out and push. Amen Thompson gets out on the break, gets fouled. It's Toumani Camara's 6th foul. The Blazers are going to challenge that call, and it is indeed upheld. Thompson splits the free throws. It's a 3-point game, 30 seconds left. The Rockets do not have to foul. They have 2 timeouts. They got the 2 for 1. They need to stop and to hit a 3-pointer. Rockets come down. They get the ball out of Deni Avdija's hands. Ends up in Caleb Love's hands. He takes a top of the key 3 that I didn't catch iron, or if it did, it caught a very little bit of it off the mark. Rockets get the rebound with about 10-ish seconds remaining. Like Blazers ran the right amount of clock. It was about 22 seconds off the clock. It was well done. But the Rockets choose not to take a timeout with two timeouts remaining, and the Blazers foul. C.J. Sissoko commits a take foul on Kevin Durant. Sissoko fouls out there. Durant steps to the free throw line with 5.9 seconds left and hits both. 1-point game. The Blazers are going to get a chance to inbound the ball. That seems like good news, except for the fact if you watch the Portland Trail Blazers, you know it's a close game and they have to inbound the ball, and that's actually a threat. That is a direct threat to you, dear Blazer fan. They are coming for your psyche. So Blazers got to inbound the ball, and they throw it into Caleb Love in the near sideline, and Tari Eason reaches over the top and kind of steals the ball, but as he steals the ball, kind of shoves Caleb Love out of bounds. They called a foul on the court, but Eason, he got the ball first, and the Rockets challenge it, and the play's overturned. I kind of think, I'm just surprised that it got overturned. I thought because they called it a foul on the court, they would have stayed a foul, and I thought if they had not called it a foul on the court, Eason gets the ball first. He grabs the ball over the top of Caleb Love. The inbounder is Shaedon Sharpe because everybody's fouled out, and Sharpe gets the turnover for that. But he did. It was a lot of contact after that. They called it marginal contact on the review. I was surprised they overturned it, but they did. They sent it to the replay center. It happens. This is why maybe fouling up 3 with this particular team is a wild choice, because they can neither hit free throws nor get the ball in late. At some point, you might need to figure out who you're working with before you foul up 3. So the Rockets are down 1. Toumani has fouled out. Sita Sissoko has fouled out. Houston ball, 5.3 seconds left. It's Caleb Love, Ryan Rupert, Shaedon Sharpe, Deni Avdija, and Rob Williams on the court to get one stop to win the game. They jump KD's left hand. They want to send him to his strong side. He wants to go left. KD is a guy who wants to go left and pull up. A lot of right-handed shooters are more comfortable going left. So they jump him and force him right, but Kevin Durant gets to the elbow and gets to like a mid-range shot that you've seen Kevin Durant make thousands of times. He's one of the great scorers in the history of the sport. He is going to, on Friday, very likely pass Wilt Chamberlain on the all-time scoring list. He had 37 in this game, and he rises up to take a shot that looks like it's going to be a second game winner in as many days. Off the mark. But Tari Eason flies in, tips the ball in, they count the bucket, and the Rockets celebrate. But wait, they got to review it, and it might be late. So they go to review a very a unique scene out on the court, like all the Rockets players and coaches are out on the court. All the Blazers players and coaches are out on the court. Whatever happens with this call, it's either going to be ball game, the Blazers win, ball game, Rockets win. And there's something like 45 people out on the court because there's photographers, et cetera, as well. It's a weird stoppage. And the officials and yada, yada, yada. And it's no good. It was so close. It is not just on Tari Eason's fingertip. It's on the tip of his fingertip. A tooth, a fingertip, and a rising star, the ascension of a star. Blazers win 103-102. That's your fastest recap in the West. Deni Avdija had 41 points, a season high. I think this was the best game I've ever seen him play in a Blazers uniform. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Toumani. I'll try to squeeze in a little Young Hansen talk because he had a totally serviceable game in a role that he hasn't typically played. There's so much going on in this one. Join me in the second segment, won't you? First, though, I want to tell you that today's program is brought to you by Rocket Money. Let's be real. Managing your finances can feel overwhelming. Between subscriptions you forgot about, bills that keep going up, and trying to figure out where all your money actually goes each month, it's easy to feel like you're losing control. And who has time to track every transaction or hunt down hidden fees? That's where Rocket Money comes in, the personal finance app that helps you take control. It finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. So you sign up for Rocket Money, you link your accounts in a few minutes, and then it'll find all of your digital subscriptions, and then you can cancel them right in the app with a few taps. Rocket Money will even, if you've been paying for a subscription or maybe doubling up on a subscription, they'll even work to get your money reimbursed for you. Plus, they got quick categorizations of all your expenditures, so you can see exactly where your money is going each and every month. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon, rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Today's program is also brought to you by Betterhelp. It's the new year. There's a lot of pressure, or at least there can be, to chase the new you or reinvent yourself in the new year. But sometimes life isn't about reinventing yourself. It's about figuring out the best version of yourself or the steps you can take to have a better sense of your perspective on your emotions and your motivations and your relationships. Therapy can be an incredibly valuable tool, whether you are going through an acute major trauma or whether you're just trying to navigate the challenges of everyday life. And BetterHelp is one of the many options, and an affordable one if you're looking to get started with therapy. Their therapists are fully licensed in the U.S. They work under a strict code of conduct. They help match you with therapists based on your needs and preferences, so you're not doing all the legwork on your own. And if the match isn't right, you can switch to another therapist from their tailored recommendations at any time. BetterHelp has served over 5 million people with more than 30,000 therapists, and live sessions average at 4.9 out of 5 stars across 1.7 million client reviews. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a qualified therapist. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lockedonnba. That's betterhelp.com/lockedonnba. All right. Thanks for making this show your first listen. If you really are one of those living the lifestyle, an everyday lifestyle. If you do listen to the show 5 days a week, make it official. Join the Locked On Everydayer Club for $5 a month or $50 a year. You get an ad-free version of this episode, plus access to our members-only Discord and some other members-only bonuses. You can find more about it at lockedonblazers.supercast.com or check the link in the show notes. Let's talk about this basketball game. Kevin Durant, as I mentioned, is going to pass Wilt Chamberlain in the all-time scoring list. Kevin Durant is probably one of the 15 greatest basketball players of all time. He's had an incredible career with just really exceptional longevity, matched only by his peer, same era of LeBron James. Not maybe only, but perhaps we'd appreciate 37-year-old Kevin Durant hooping at the level he was if he played in an era that wasn't exactly next to LeBron. And he was the second best player on the court tonight. Kevin Durant had 37 points on 14 of 25 shooting. He was the second best player on the court tonight. It wasn't close. Deni Avdija has been playing at an all-star level all season long. If you're an everyday listener to this program, you know that as early as November, I was like, yeah, Deni Avdija is playing at an all-star level. If he keeps this up, he's going to make the all-star team. And then when he did keep it up, by the middle of December, I was saying Deni Avdija is going to be an all-star. It'll be a stunner if he isn't. Today, I'm going to go a step further. Deni Avdija is playing at an all-NBA level. I think ranking players is a little bit fraught. It's like he's one of the 10 best players in the league, 8 best players in the league. I don't want to get into all the ranking stuff. But I will say this. Deni Avdija is doing things that superstars do. I think this was the best game I've seen him play in a Trailblazers uniform. I don't think it was the best box score game I've ever seen him have, right? He's had bigger games recently in terms of just stuffing the entire stat sheet. But the way Deni did it in this game was so impressive. He finished with 41 points to go with 6 boards and 2 assists, turned the ball over 5 times in 39 minutes, was 13 of 24 from the floor, including 2 of 9 from 3, got to the free throw line for 15 attempts and made 13 of them. A season high 41. His career high is 43 back with the Wizards. Like I said, I've seen him have, he's had gaudier, stat stuffing games than this. But the context of this game, I thought he was phenomenal. I think this was the best game I've seen him play. The Rockets are gigantic. They're so stinking big because they don't have Fred VanVleet. They've kind of leaned into just playing this massive lineup where the smallest player on the court for most of their minutes is 6'7". Amen Thompson is one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. Tari Eason is an excellent perimeter defender. Jabari Smith Jr. is no slouch. He's not at their level, but he's 6'10" and mobile. Kevin Durant is gigantic. He's not the lockdown defender he was, but he's certainly still a very capable defender, and he's just huge. And Steven Adams is a load, one of the biggest players in the league. And then they bring off the bench Josh Okogie, who gets after it and is competitive and just the perfect sort of energy defender to bring off the bench. They have a wave of dudes that they can throw at the type of do everything wings that are rampaging the league, right? And Deni is one of those guys, an all NBA level performer. He's been phenomenal and he was so good tonight. And the context of it is the Rockets are a top 10 defense, right? Championship level defense. They play a bunch of funky zone. They'll play man. Tonight, they threw everything at Deni. First of all, every look, right? Amen Thompson got some minutes on him. Tari Eason got some minutes on it. Josh Okogie, when he came into the game off the bench, he got some minutes on it. They played the straight up, the sort of more familiar zone look, but not a ton of it. They played some man-to-man. They threw a box and one at Deni. A box and one is a sign of respect. You know who busted out the box and one? Freaking Nick Nurse against Steph Curry in the finals. I believe Nate Bjorkgren got credit for that. Blazers assistant coach for busting that out. Ime Udoka, we've seen him do it in the playoffs as well. In the 2022 finals run with the Celtics, throw out a little box and one. It's a junk defense designed to take away a superstar. it is in and of itself, a tacit admission of a star. It says, that dude's a star. We can't guard him straight up. We need to. So a box and one is like the one guy just tails Deni the whole time. The other 4 dudes play a zone defense and try to just like, sort of wall everybody else off and say, okay, full deny on Deni and zone defense everywhere else that allows the other defenders to sort of be also in help position. It's, again, it's like it's the Steph Curry defense. I don't know, what's Steph Curry? Something like, the best offensive player of the last 15 years? One of the dudes who like altered the entire shape of the league slowly but surely over the course of from 2015 on. Like that level of respect Deni got with that type of defense, and he just plowed through them. So I thought he did such a good job early of using his speed bursts, not just trying to like get the ball, get a screen, take on. Deni isn't like the type of player who you want to say like accept the double team, give the ball up and work it that way. Like he can do that, but like what Deni does best is attack quickly before you're set. And I thought he did a great job of every time he did have an advantage. Tari Eason is on his left hand. Okay, cool. You got on the wrong side of me, dog, and I am just absolutely driving downhill, full head of steam with the right hand. Like that's, you screwed up. And every time the Rockets made a mistake, Deni took advantage. I thought he did a good job tacking in the sort of semi-transition before they were set. He did a really good job whenever he got one-on-one and like straight line drives. He was really, really good. He used the quick bursts as opposed to a ton of energy, quick bursts to get space. He was physical. The Rockets are really physical. He used their physicality against them. He got to the free throw line. Like this was a masterpiece. This was a masterpiece. And then he closes out the game with an and one to put them up 7 with 2 minutes left, a drive and a bucket to put them up 4 with 48 seconds left. Like he was and they got him the ball out of his hands a couple times in the final 2 minutes, twice that have found Caleb Love because they sent showed him more bodies, showed him everything. Like just an awesome game. I don't like. I could do another 20 minutes on how good this Deni game was. He made the plays they needed him to make. He understood sort of balance of being hyper aggressive and when not to sort of waste his energy. And he sat there at his locker after the game and was legitimately satisfied in a way that was authentic and real that I appreciated. Some players say, 1 of 82 is nothing. And Deni said, like, we should, like that win, that level of win and the way we played should not be taken for granted. Should not be taken for granted because, it's a championship level team. It's a good win. He went on to say when asked for follow-up questions, like, you can't get too high, too low. And like the NBA season is really long and you got to do it. But like you need to be able to appreciate it. And so I want to sit here as a true hold on to your joy moment and appreciate how freaking good Deni was in this game. This was a special night. I think this was one of his best nights in a Blazers uniform. I think this is the best game I've ever seen him play in terms of just understanding what he needed to do, putting a shorthanded team on his back, and just the best player on the court against a team that's going to like play in the Western Conference Finals. An awesome performance. Let's talk Toumani, a little Young Hansen, and a little box score oddities in this game. There's just too much to fit in, but we're still going to try to do it. That's the Locked On Blazers promise. Join me in the third segment, won't ya? First, though, let's talk FanDuel. Fridays already feel different during basketball season. And FanDuel's making them even better. Every Friday night, before the games tip off across the NBA, FanDuel is giving you a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. That's Fridays from 6 to 7:30 Eastern or 3 to 4:30 Pacific time. It's appointment viewing, NBA Happy Hour. You open the FanDuel app and you're going to find something new. Boosts, bonuses, surprises. You can check those weekly specials before the games tip off and then just hop on the app during that window of NBA Happy Hour and make your bets. The timing is perfect. It's right before games, right before the weekend starts. It's going to add extra energy to your Friday night basketball viewing. So before tip-off, check out the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30. That's Eastern. That's 3 to 4:30 Pacific time. A little basketball, a little action, a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Still a pass first point guard. I'm still Mike Richmond. You're still listening to Locked On Blazers. Toumani Camara walked over to the bench with a piece of his tooth in his hand. Let me offer this real quick. I'm going to talk about some mildly graphic scenes here, and if you don't want to hear about blood, fast forward to 90 seconds. Skip ahead real quick. Toumani Camara walked over to the bench holding a piece of his tooth in his hand. He got hit in the mouth, and he knew he got hit in the mouth, and he didn't know how bad it was. Reached to cover his mouth. It hurt right away. He knew it hurt. He's bloody. His fingers are a little bloody now because he's touched his lip. He thinks his whole lip is busted open. So he's getting up to be like, I got to get this taken care of. And as he stands up, he sees a piece of his tooth on the court. One of his top teeth on the right-hand side. Picks up the piece of his tooth, walks it over to the Blazers medical staff, says, hey, save this. I'm going to get it glued on after the game. I'm gonna get this reattached. Hold on to this for me. And he stands over there on the sidelines, and they call an official timeout because he's bloodied. And he is realizing that it is hurting a lot more than he initially thought. And then the second thought crosses his mind. Let's get this blood taken care of because I got a basketball game to play. Never did he consider running to the back to take a moment off. He wanted to play. It's a man who played through a cracked rib at one point last season. Toumani sort of exemplifies what this Blazers team has been. Bloodied, battered, cracked, lying on the floor in a couple pieces, and still getting up to win the games. After the game, Thiago Splitter said that Camara's name went in the box, which is given to you put your name in the box if you're the defensive player of the year or defensive player of the game for the Blazers. And in tonight's game, Toumani got it. Now Kevin Durant had 37. He had a good game. It's Kevin Durant. He's pretty good. He's 14 of 26 from the floor. But Toumani made him work a little bit. Made it so it wasn't super duper easy. Durant is an all-timer. But 2 had 11 deflections, 2 blocks and 2 steals. One of his blocks came the only time the Rockets tied the game in the second half. Tied at 84 early in the third quarter. Tari Eason gets all the way to the rim. Toumani Camara meets him at the rim, blocks a shot, triggers a fast break, and the Blazers get a corner 3 to turn what would have been their first deficit of the second half to a 3-point lead. Toumani Camara made that block while unable to really yell. After the game, he said that because his mouth was so beat up, like projecting was hurting his mouth. He even told us talking in the locker room that even talking with us, he was in pain and he was kind of like getting a little bit fatigued because his mouth hurt just from using it a bunch to talk to us. He said that he was having trouble like making the calls on defense and he was kind of having to rely on Deni to make the calls for him because he just didn't have the projection. He couldn't yell because his mouth was so bloodied. He's sitting there in the locker room. His lips still bloodied. He's still bleeding. He said he was going to leave right then, literally, and go see the team dentist. This Toumani performance really epitomizes what the Blazers have been this year. Tough, battered, beaten, special, and just resilient, and unwavering. And it's like, they're missing 7 dudes tonight. All right, well, let's go get it done. Toumani was really good. I'm running up against the clock here a little bit, so let me see if I could squeeze some couple things in. The Blazers, because they were shorthanded, played 9 players. The only Durant did not got a DNP CD. They had 11. Excuse me, I said they had 10 earlier. They had 11 because Javonte Cook dressed. Durant, DNP CD, as did not play coach's decision. Javonte Cook did not play coach's decision. They played 9 guys. That include Young Hansen, the young rookie, who played 16 minutes and 31 seconds. And this might sound like damning with faint praise, but I mean this very honestly. Hansen looked a little wobbly out there, but he was the most important number to know is 16 minutes and 30 seconds. 16 and a half minutes. Just the fact that he was able to be on the court and be just like serviceable. They didn't get torched in his minutes. It wasn't a huge problem. Now, he looked a little wobbly. He had a couple turnovers, had some fouls where he's just kind of getting caught with his hands too far down. One is just like he's not vertical, gets called for just like a simple foul, not vertical. One where he's got his one hand down, one hand up. And it's like, you got to show your hands. He made a 3. He missed some others. He made his first 3 and missed his last 3 shots. Like, I think he still looks a little wobbly, right? Like you can just tell he's just like not quite, you can watch him thinking out there. He's thinking the game. But so many times you've seen him think the game and he plays 4 minutes and it's just like, I don't think they can go back to him. The fact that they were able to play this game with him, and they played a ton of zone in this game. The Blazers are running this 3-2 zone, which is 3 guys at the top with like usually Toumani at the point at the top of the key, and then 2 bigs down low. And they're kind of because the Rockets can't shoot or could not shoot in this game, they shot 8 of 36 from 3 because they just like because they couldn't make any shots and they pounded the Blazers in the glass. It's like, let's get a little bit bigger, right? Put Hansen and Rob together, and they played almost all of their minutes next to each other. Hansen is effectively playing power forward, like on offense, and they're playing zone on defense. So he's playing like one of the low men on defense, and it's kind of keep him out of one-on-one situations where he's going to guard and get away from the rim, and he really struggles there. And keep him near the basket. Hopefully, grab some defensive rebounds. Like I thought this was just a good game from Hansen. If I know I just saw like some I think I maybe got one email about this, but I saw some comments on the internet about like many fans thought Hansen played really well against the Celtics. I don't think I did not. I don't think that. I think this was his best game of the year, just because functional. This was just like not even functional, serviceable minutes. And with a guy like him, you're looking for baby steps from unplayable to not unplayable to serviceable to something better, right? And he gave them 16 functional minutes that they got. I think plus minus is pretty nonsense. They won his minutes by 2, but like the game was a 1-point game. He participated in a close game, and it was not a big deal when he was out there. They didn't need to like yank him out of the game. That nice step forward for Hansen. I guess like real quick, the Blazers had a season low 6 offensive rebounds. Just the 5th time all season when they've had fewer than 10 offensive boards. They're the 3rd best offensive rebounding team in the league. These two teams absolutely dominate the offensive glass, and the Rockets did 24 offensive boards. 24 offensive boards. The thing was, the Rockets couldn't convert. 24 offensive boards, they converted to 23 second chance points. They didn't do anything with them. The Rockets couldn't make threes, 8 of 36, and couldn't cash in on just a bevy of offensive rebounds. They're the best offensive rebounding team in the league. They're monsters on the glass. They're the best offensive rebounding team in the league by a pretty wide margin. And they couldn't cash in. And that's the toughness. The Blazers did not win this game because they won the possession battle, which has been their math all season long. They won this game because they were tough as nails on defense. Toumani Camara led that charge, and Deni Avdija was a superstar on the offensive end. Pretty fun little formula. And these two teams play again on Friday night. How stinking fun is that? So I'll have you covered for that. Tomorrow, I want to talk about there is a proposal heading that will head to the State House in the spring for public funding to get the Blazers a renovated Moda Center. Fascinating next steps with new ownership coming in. We'll talk about that and some other odds and ends. Plus, the Blazers will play another game on Friday against these same Rockets still in the city. So if you see some tall gentlemen wearing red around town on Thursday, that's who they are. It's the Houston Rockets, baby. Such a fun basketball game. Could have done 2 shows about it, but that's the nature of Locked On Blazers. 5 days a week, wherever you get podcasts, also on YouTube. Tell your friends about the program. I appreciate you listening. I will talk to you soon.